There comes a moment in life when the world around you doesn't change, but somehow you do. Not in a sudden dramatic way, not in a way others notice immediately, but in a quiet, unsettling shift that only you feel deep inside your own body. A morning when you wake up and something feels slightly off. A step that doesn't feel as steady as it once did. A night of sleep that should have refreshed you, but somehow left you feeling older than the day before. For millions of people, this moment begins at age 75. And the terrifying truth is that almost nobody is prepared for it. Not because the changes are rare, but because they are universal. They strike everyone, no exceptions. There's a reason researchers call 75 the biological turning point. A point when the body, without warning, rewrites its internal operating system. And yet, families don't talk about it. Doctors often don't explain it. Society treats it as a mystery. But it isn't a mystery. It's a sequence of 5 incredibly predictable changes, backed by science, confirmed by decades of data, and experienced by every human being who reaches this age. Today, you're about to walk into that truth, not to scare you, not to discourage you, but to prepare you, empower you, and give you control over something most people never understand until it's too late. And I want you to stay with me, because the final change is the one that determines whether someone will stay independent or slowly lose the parts of life they cherish most. To understand this journey, let me take you into a story, one that mirrors the lives of so many seniors around the world. A story about a man named Arthur, 75 years old, a retired electrician, a husband of 51 years, a man who built his own home with his bare hands, the kind of man whose strength, sharp mind, and resilience shaped the lives of everyone around him. His grandchildren called him the Rock. And for decades, that's exactly what he was. But one autumn morning, everything quietly changed. It started with sleep, or rather the lack of it. He went to bed at his usual time, closed his eyes, and woke up again and again throughout the night. No noise, no nightmares, just a sudden break in sleep that he couldn't explain. When morning came, he sat at the edge of his bed feeling tired, heavy, and strangely disappointed in himself. He thought, "What's wrong with me? Why am I sleeping like this?" And like most seniors, he shrugged it off, blaming age, stress, maybe too much water before bed. What he didn't know, not yet, was that he had just crossed the threshold into one of the most dramatic neurological transitions of his life. Researchers at UC Berkeley discovered something chilling. After age 75, the brain loses a huge portion of the neurons responsible for deep sleep, the sleep that repairs memory, cleans toxins from the brain, rebuilds cells, and stabilizes emotions. Seniors don't just sleep lighter. Their brains physically lose the ability to generate the deep waves needed for restoration. The circadian clock shifts earlier. Melatonin production drops dramatically. The night becomes fragmented, frustrating, unpredictable. And by the time someone like Arthur realizes what's happening, they've already blamed themselves for something they never caused. But sleep was only the beginning. Weeks later, on a cold December morning, Arthur stepped outside to get the mail. The air was chilly, but not unbearable. Yet his hands became icy within seconds. His ears stung. His feet felt numb. He rushed back inside with a feeling he couldn't explain. It wasn't fear. It wasn't pain. It was vulnerability, a sensation he hadn't felt since childhood. What he didn't realize was that one of the most dangerous age-related changes had begun, the loss of temperature regulation. After 75, the sensors in the skin that detect heat and cold begin to fail. Sweat glands shrink. Blood vessels respond more slowly. The insulating layer of fat beneath the skin thins out. And even worse, the brain's ability to sense thirst nearly vanishes. A senior can be dangerously dehydrated without feeling thirsty at all. That simple truth sends thousands of older adults to emergency rooms every year, especially during heat waves. What looks like weakness or forgetfulness is often the body's silent collapse of internal climate control. But the most surprising shift came one evening during dinner. Halfway through the meal, Arthur felt discomfort, not pain, but heaviness. He took smaller bites. He chewed longer. He swallowed more cautiously. His wife noticed, but he insisted he was fine. After dinner, he sat quietly, aware of a strange new truth. Eating suddenly required more effort. This wasn't indigestion, it wasn't overeating. It was biology. By 75, the muscles in the esophagus lose nearly half their strength. The stomach produces far less acid, making it harder to break down proteins and absorb nutrients. Many seniors are mistakenly diagnosed with acid reflux and given medications that lower stomach acid even more, leading to nutritional deficiencies. The villi and the small intestine shrink. Transit time slows. Constipation rises. Everything becomes harder, slower, less efficient, all at once. Arthur didn't know any of this. He only knew he felt different. And because no one had explained the biological shifts of aging, he carried that uncertainty like a quiet burden. But the moment that frightened him most happened on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. He was walking from the living room to the kitchen, a path he'd taken thousands of times. But this time, as he turned the corner, his foot caught slightly on the rug. He didn't fall, but he stumbled, just one step, one moment. Yet it shook him deeply. His heart pounded. His confidence cracked. He stood still, gripping the counter, trying to understand why his body had betrayed him. This is the moment when most seniors begin to fear aging, not because they fall, but because they almost fall. Balance is not a simple skill. It is the most complex coordination system in the human body. It requires the inner ear, the eyes, the nerves in the feet, the joints, and the brain to communicate instantly. After 75, every part of that system begins to decline. The inner ear loses hair cells. Vision loses depth and contrast. Proprioception, the awareness of where the body is in space, slows down. The brain takes longer to process movement. A half-second delay is enough to cause a fall, and falls can change lives forever. But the final change, the one that affects everything, arrived slowly, almost invisibly. Each morning, Arthur rose from bed a little slower. Chairs felt lower, stairs felt steeper, carrying groceries felt heavier. His arms and legs looked thinner than he remembered. His reflexes felt duller. His strength, once his pride, had started slipping away. This was not laziness. It was not lack of effort. This was sarcopenia, the accelerated loss of muscle mass that speeds up dramatically after 75. Even active seniors lose up to 5% of muscle each year. The fast twitch fibers, the ones responsible for quick reactions, disappear first. Muscle stem cells decline. Hormones that support strength collapse. Inflammation rises. A single week of illness can erase months of progress. And yet, even now, most seniors believe this change is simply old age, something unfixable, something final. But that isn't the truth. Because even at 75, even at 80 or 90, the body can build muscle. The body can regain balance. The brain can adjust sleep patterns. The digestive system can be supported. The temperature system can be protected. These changes may be unavoidable, but their consequences are not. Months after these shifts began, Arthur finally spoke to a specialist. For the first time, someone explained what was happening inside him. Someone connected the dots. Someone told him the truth, that his body wasn't failing, it was transitioning. And with the right adaptations, he could regain control. He started going to bed earlier to match his new circadian rhythm. His sleep improved. He scheduled hydration instead of waiting for thirst. His energy increased. He adjusted his meals into smaller, easier-to-digest portions. His discomfort faded. He practiced balance exercises for 10 minutes each day. His stability returned, and he began lifting light weights 3 times a week. Slowly, steadily, his strength grew. The changes didn't stop, but neither did he. Because once he understood the rules, he could finally play the game. And that is why this message matters. If you are approaching 75, if you are past 75, or if someone you love is in this stage of life, you need to know this truth. Not to fear it, but to prepare for it. Not to surrender, but to fight intelligently. These 5 changes will come. They come for everyone. But the way they shape your life depends entirely on whether you understand them and whether you respond before they take away the things that matter most. Independence, mobility, clarity, confidence, freedom. You deserve to enter this next chapter with strength, not confusion. With knowledge, not fear. With hope, not resignation. Because aging is not the end. It is a transition you can navigate with wisdom and intention. And if this video brought clarity to your life, stay with this channel. Each week we uncover the truths that help seniors stay strong, steady, independent, and informed. Because you deserve a life of dignity, control, and strength, no matter your age. And the journey continues from here.